Let's try and talk as fast as we can. Cheers.
Okay. Cheers, welcome back. It's another episode of the Alcohol Lodge Podcast. Before we get started, let's talk about our sponsors, Hexa Coffee. Paw?
They are a Chicago brewed company. Delicious coffee. We love it so much.
Don't forget to check out at hexacoffee.com, and you can enjoy 10% off your coffee by using promo code ELK.
That's ELK at hexacoffee.com, HEXE coffee.com.
And today on the show, we have a special guest, a friend of Paul's from back in the day, performance-wise.
That's right. His name is Travis Becker. And then when That Kid Is You performed his show, we met him, and he's a great guy. We jammed a lot, and he's a good fun. And
we had a great time on the episode, so really enjoy it.
Thank you very much for watching.
Looking at all the random cool shit around your place.
There is a lot of it. We were once accused of being maximalists on here. And by accused, I think I might have said that, but somebody was talking about the sheer quantity of items, and I was like, yeah, you're not wrong, I see it.
Damn, that's your studio, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have a studio audience tonight.
I need to hear the new album. I haven't heard it yet.
Oh, dude.
When did that drop?
Right.
Like a month or two ago?
A few weeks ago only, actually.
Okay, good. So I'm not so slow.
You're not so slow,
at
but
all.
you're going to like it. I
You
hope.
recorded that in
Argentina.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
and in Mexico.
And in Mexico. So we finished it where JC lives now, in
Wow.
Sayulita. We went there for like a week just to like polish it up.
Yeah, and here. A little bit here, too.
A little bit here. Oh, I did do some vocals from here as well. Basically, we flew to Argentina for 2 weeks, and we had no songs written before we went. We just booked the time, and like we were gonna work with this producer, who's a friend of Carlos. So Carlos was like,
I remember Carlos. Oh, this is good. Here you go.
Yeah, Carlos was just one day was like, oh, dude, like, I totally forgot. I know this producer in Argentina. Like, I'll send him your stuff. And then we were talking, and we were like, yeah, we want to come down there and make some music. So, yeah, we just booked the trip. We went there. We just made a bunch of shit and then left. And while we were, after we left, he, arranged some things. Then we went back, kind of cleaned things up a little more vocals, more this and that. And then we did one more trip in Mexico, and then some stuff here, like, if I had like a little idea, I would just record it and send it to him, things like that.
That's awesome.
It was a really fun process, though. You been playing music lately?
Not at all.
Since the jams?
Yeah, I've been doing more acting stuff. I did enjoy our jams, though, when we had them.
The jams
What's
we
your
talk about a
instrument
lot.
of choice,
and
or
see,
no?
Travis would come.
Yeah. What's your instrument of choice there?
I played drums for a while in a couple bands, but I like little electric bass and acoustic guitar and singing.
Nice.
Yeah, Travis would sing. Yeah.
I think the best jam I had with you guys, I was on bass. If I recall.
You were on bass,
Up
I
into
think,
bass.
and singing.
Okay.
Yeah.
The singing part's a little patchy in the memory.
yeah.
Funny how those memories stick,
Mm-hmm.
But, man, that was a crazy, fun era. Like
That was a big house.
It was a big house. That bedroom, like...
Oh, that jam room, yeah.
Yeah, that was my bedroom.
That was your bedroom. I didn't even
Yeah,
know that.
yeah.
Holy shit.
The bed in the corner, that was me. So it was like, yeah, but it was like a living room. It wasn't technically a bedroom, so it had a bar in it and a piano.
How long were you guys there?
We were there like 2 years, maybe?
Oh, it's not that long.
No. It was short, like it was cut short a little bit. Like I was saying, when our landlord was like, I want my house back. Which is fine, it's his house, but we were thinking we'd be there a little longer. But
Were you pretty bummed when you got the news?
I mean, half and half. Like I said, like it forced us to move in together, so it kind of like I'm grateful for it. And it's when big changes like that happen, I can't help but get excited. Like you can't control it. Your life's about to like get thrown into chaos. So and I
gotta embrace it.
Yeah, you just embrace it, and that's kind of just my
Like
natural
going
reaction.
limp before impact.
Exactly. Yeah, just go limp and just ride the wave.
I don't know.
But yeah, so you've been doing acting, like what?
Yeah, is that what brought you to LA? How'd you get here?
So I just made 8 years.
Wow.
In the same house.
Wow.
Which is crazy. I
That's
feel like
some serious stability.
Yeah, I feel like a crab afraid to leave his shell, kind of. It's like really cheap, 4-bedroom house in Eagle Rock, and I've had some really good roommates. Had a couple bad apples over the years, but it's been good. I was in a Lifetime movie this year. A couple Lifetime
Wow.
movies. I have like one line, but still, I'm stoked.
Are you
my God, I
like the
gotta watch.
barista? Are you the
I'm actually the janitor.
the janitor? Yes.
Do you have like a key ring? Because that would be awesome. Tell me to give you a key ring.
I do. I come in.
Yes.
It hasn't premiered yet.
Okay.
Okay.
No,
This is exclusive.
It's the world international premiere will be. No, I'm not sure. Hopefully in a couple months, maybe next year.
Cool.
Cool,
Long story
indeed.
short, they hired me to do location scouting. I don't know if you knew I do that.
I did not.
Yeah, it's like my day job.
Nice.
It's a fun gig.
Yeah, I like PA'd for a long time, and
Uh-huh.
and so they're like, Lifetime movie. Yeah, we need some locations, and then I started like pitching producers. I'm like, hey, I'm an actor too, because they kind of like start casting the same time they start location scouting. So I was like, okay. And usually when I would pitch myself, they would kind of it would be a little awkward and unprofessional a little bit, and they kind of like their eyes gloss over and like, oh, cool, yeah, that's awesome.
Right.
Keep you in mind, like, oh, God.
Yeah.
And then so I kind of would not do it that much, only if I thought they were cool or were vibing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did it with this Lifetime movie, and this producer happened to be a former actress that kind of started producing, and she's like took a liking to me, and she's like, I'm gonna make sure you get an audition. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, you were so awesome. And so she got me a couple auditions, and I like auditioned for the lead, didn't get them. One of them, they said I was too old.
Wow.
Which that was.
We are at that point, huh, Travis? We're
Ruthless.
too old.
I mean, once you're over like 22, 23 for Lifetime, you're too old.
yeah.
Damn.
But
it's a
then you
rough
have to
world.
like play a high schooler on network TV. It's like, I feel like everyone in the OC was like 28, but they
Yeah,
were playing
it
like 60.
doesn't work that
Exactly.
out.
So I played a dad, and I was in 2 Lifetime movies. One,
Wow,
I played a
man,
dad.
How old are you?
34.
Damn.
I mean, that is dad age.
I wonder if you
I'm
got
not a
rid
parent,
of if you
but-
got rid of the mustache, you might be able to shave off a few years.
I think you're right. I
in
like that
people's
shave off a
mind,
few
you know,
years.
clean off the.
Literally, yeah, that's true.
I guess that's where that comes from.
But I like getting old. I think it's good. Like
As long as you're doing
yeah, I mean,
learning from your mistakes and
learning from your mistakes, but like we're fucking adults. Like it's great. It's way better than being a kid to me, at least. I like.
I
it.
like being in charge of my own life. And
Yeah,
no
Yeah, it's
rules.
not so bad.
no rules. Let's go crazy. No.
So yeah, janitor.
No rules.
So
Really
you got the
looks to me.
janitor role.
Yep, and that is yet to come out. But one of them did come out where I'm a dead dad actually. I play a dad that died. With
Doing what? Oh yeah. Thank
Well, he's
you.
like a race car driver, and it's like a race car driver movie. And she's like, "My dad was an amateur stock car racer," and then it flashes back, and it's me playing with this like 7-year-old actress that I worked with, which is kind of fun to. I'd never acted with a kid before. That was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But no lines there, just like montage B-roll. But
Like you're the mental flashback to when her dad was alive.
pretty much. And I'm like playing with it, like pushing her in the car, and we're like the classic like under the hood fixing the car, and I'm like. Was trying to make her laugh, and I remember talking to her mom, and I'm like, "How do you make your daughter laugh?" And she's like, "You should just talk about farts." And so I was like, "Oh yeah." I'm like talking about farts to this 7-year-old girl on set, and it worked out.
Wow.
Yeah, sounds like a good match there. You did it.
That's a pretty legit
So-
role, though. I mean, a speaking role in a Lifetime movie. I'm not kidding. That's something.
It's probably my biggest credit so far.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you. I only started a couple years ago, really taking it seriously, but. I grew up with my mom watching Lifetime movies, television for women. So
So what was the first thing you acted in? Like school? Did you do school theater back in the day, or did you start after that?
I did high school theater, couple plays, and I actually did a role once where I had no lines, but I won an acting award. I was always happy about that. I was stoked.
Wow.
I was
What was that role?
I was a mute councilman in. It's called the Pied Piper of Hamlin.
Okay.
Have you heard the
awesome.
story of the Pied Piper?
He lures people with the flute.
And like
Yes.
the
The rat.
rat-
He gets the rats or the snakes.
Yeah, or the-
Some about I think they like piss him off, and then he's like, he gets the rats out of the city, and then they piss him off, and then he lures the children with the same flute, and then the children. Like I think it gets dark.
Sounds a little heavy, yes.
I always thought he was like a Robin Hood type of guy. I didn't realize he was like, now the children.
He's more like a Rumpelstiltskin baby stealer kind of character.
baby stealer.
Baby stealer.
All those old stories are like baby stealers. Have you ever seen Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
I remember the book. Wasn't that a book? Kids book?
Maybe. But they made it a movie. It's got Dick Van Dyke and the Mary Poppins chick, I believe. Or maybe not. But it starts off really funny. It's like, it's a car that you can talk to. And like they talk to the car, and the car is like magical and it flies. But then, like, they land in this place where this guy's, like, stealing all the children and and the children get stolen, and it gets so dark and, like, icky. I remember as a kid just being irked.
I watched our movies with my mom since I was like 5 years old.
R-rated movies?
Yeah, like not like, just like, action movies and scary movies, not like striptease or anything.
Okay.
It wasn't like weird.
But like violence. There was no problem with violence.
Violence, no problem. And my parents were divorced. I remember I would visit my dad when I was like 15, try to watch an R movie, and he'd be like, nope. And I'm like, Dad, I've been watching these for like 10 years. He's like, you do whatever you want with your mom, but with me, I'm like, fuck.
That's funny.
But
did it give you, like, the fear is, if you show a kid like a violent movie when he's 5 or something, he's gonna go to school and like punch someone or like be violent. Did it like affect you in any way, or like?
It's made me have a high tolerance for, I guess, scary movies. Takes a lot to scare me. A lot of people don't like scary movies. I like to kind of get freaked out on the edge of my seat a little bit.
I like to this time of year.
Yeah,
it's like seasonal for me. I just get interested in like every October. That's when it's cool.
Yeah, Christine brings out the holiday decorations. We got pumpkins. We got.
You bought the pumpkin.
I like
this
it.
True,
year.
but only because of you. I did it for you.
Thank you.
But I did it. You're right.
Shout out to the pumpkin.
Shout out to the pumpkin. It's on the table for the first time. So did you move to LA to become an actor? Or was that at least like kind of the grand dream?
It was like, kind of lurking in the background. I started the writer route at first. I was like, I'm a writer. And then I got into like the writer's room as a PA, which was cool. And I kind of was all set up in a way. I was like on the track. I knew people that had been a PA before that are now like executive producers. They were staff writers all on the same show. And I was like, finally made it. And then it canceled right away. And I was like, okay.
What was the show?
It was Graceland on USA. It was a cop drama. It's right before Mr. Robot came out and just like broke all the records. It like canceled our show, and then Robot like won a Grammy, or not a Grammy.
Oh, was Graceland like took place in
California? It was on the beach. Not to be confused with Homeland.
No, I was thinking,
Homeland
isn't there
is-
one where like it's about like country singers trying to make it in Nashville?
That's the thing.
Nashville.
It is. Graceland is a.
It's not Graceland, but
It's called Nashville.
oh, it's called Nashville.
Yeah.
But Graceland is the Elvis name for his.
Right, that's where Elvis. Okay, that's why I got confused.
And supposedly the reason it was called that is because all these sexy, it was an over-sexualized cop drama where it's like, oh, who's going to sleep with who next, And they're all in this mansion on the beach, undercover, working in L.A., and they have this mansion that it was from some drug kingpin. They stole it from him, and he loved Elvis, so it was called Graceland.
Oh wow. So wait, they're all like
Sounds awesome.
undercover, but they like live in this sort of fraternity.
Yeah.
Are they undercover when they're there?
No.
Or this is
Just
like
when
their
That's their safe space.
this is like their safe space, their headquarters.
Yep, that's their headquarters. So like all in the kitchen, like FBI agents like cooking eggs and shit, and they're all
Wow.
like super sexy.
So it's like real world plus cops.
Plus, like-
it's like
That's probably how we pitched it originally.
Real
Real
world
world plus cops.
plus cops. 2 great shows. Can't go wrong.
I mean, cops you cannot escape cops. It's like everyone in America has seen Cops. I think.
The show Cops. I love the show Cops. There's something so calming about it to
It's
me.
very healthy educational programming.
Dude, it's like I don't know why I feel. Maybe it's just because like intervention is kind of the same too.
It's like the voyeur.
But it's also like it's somebody else's problem. I'm not watching it. Like I'm glad I'm not that guy.
And it makes sense just with storytelling in general. We like seeing people struggle. There needs to be conflict. I'm not just going to watch
Right.
someone just like win at everything.
It's true.
I want to see someone get tackled by a cop for doing nothing wrong.
Yeah, and then they like confess to the crime when they should just like shut up and get a lawyer. Like if you get arrested, don't say anything. They always say like, "Do you want a lawyer?" And they're like, "Nah." And it's like, "All right, where were you today?" It's like I was killing a guy. Like or whatever. Like they just confess the whole thing.
There was a show, not Cops, but it was like another real time show like that. I think it happened like live. It was once a week or something. And my
Live
sister,
PD?
something live PD maybe was it, and she was like so devastated when they canceled it. But I'm like, it is kind of, you're innocent until proven guilty, right? So if you're arrested, you're by nature kind of in a position where you could already be deemed like guilty of something to the public. So it's kind of like
Sure.
damning.
Trial by media. kinda.
Yeah, trial by media. It's not really like fair to the defendant.
Well, and I think
Or
the release
whatever.
forms Because you always wonder, like, why would this person sign a release
Kind of
form to be on TV getting arrested for
Looking
this shit? But
like shit.
I think when you get taken into the station, there's like a million forms you sign when you're arrested, and they just kind of put it in amongst the shuffle, you know. So you're just like signing all sorts of things.
I think it's morally questionable, the show, you know.
I think so too.
What's the word? Entraption?
Yeah.
Entrapment, yeah.
Entrapment, yeah. Like, pretty sure I remember one where they just took a brand new bike and put it like in a poor part of town right by a liquor store and just waited for someone to steal it. And then right when they stole it, they just like tackled the fuck out of him. Like, come on, man. He's trying to feed his family. What are you doing?
I know. Or like bait car.
Get the criminal, quick.
They do bait car where they just leave a car running with like the door open.
I haven't seen that.
Oh yeah, it's called bait car.
That's a show.
I don't know how you get away with that one.
I understand it. I've definitely been entertained by it in the past, but I do think it's a kind of a weird one. It's
almost like
to parade
gladiator
around.
like mentality that we have, that we want to like.
I grew up watching Jerry Springer with my parents.
I did too. I grew up in you know, what's it? Ricky Lake. Mm-hmm. All of it.
Maury.
I watched that.
For me, the trashy shows were like Eliminate and Blind Date.
I watched that.
Yeah.
What was the one with Carmen Electra?
Oh, I don't know.
And it was like on E. Oh, it was so good.
Double Dare?
I don't know.
I never watched Double
Nickelodeon?
Dare. I didn't have cable growing up, so I missed like
Nick.
I would watch
Nick at
like
Night.
Cheaters. That was like my big show.
I don't know any of these shows that you're
these are
mentioning.
all the non-cable.
Talk about entrapment. That was another one. It was
Cheaters.
like baiting people.
I met someone the other day who worked on Cheaters, or knew someone who worked on Cheaters, and they said it was all fake, and it destroyed me.
So maybe I shouldn't be worried about violation of, you know, personal freedom.
Right, as long as everyone's getting their
As long
like
as
SAG
everyone's
credit, then I think we're
signing their liability waiver or whatever, I guess it doesn't matter.
good. Yeah. And so the reason I really wanted you on the show is to tell you I love all of your like content. Like I'm
Thank you.
jealous of you.
Oh, no way.
Because you can just kind of talk and be funny and like tell a story, and it just I don't, and like then the videos you do where you're like in the woods and like you're like whatever, I just think you're so funny. So I wanted to tell you that.
Thank you,
Are
man.
you still making a lot of stuff like that?
Yeah, actually, maybe we should bring Suzanne up because she shot the Woods one and edited it,
I love
and
it.
she's really good.
The editing is really like also where the humor is a lot, for sure. yeah, we're getting a nod from Suzanne.
she gets a lot of credit for that. But I mean, the dream is to have a talk show. I think I studied journalism in college, you know, and it's like interviewing, being a reporter, and so I love like asking people questions. And I don't necessarily like the sound of my voice or any of that, but I also like just like the dry like parody humor.
Yes.
Where it's like the way he's saying it sounds really important, but now that I actually listen to what he's saying, it's like total bullshit.
Yes. It's like gibberish, basically.
And I feel like it's really relevant now because we've just been bombarded by television for since 1950. So like we're going on 70 years of just bombardment and like, you know, the old cheesy infomercials and all that, like Tim and Eric stuff. Where I mean, they kind of started, I guess, the nostalgic, like TV weird humor. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to like make my own sort of niche of that in a way. But I appreciate the support.
Yeah, honestly, I'm a fan. I am a fan.
I need to create more. It's hard to, the consistencies. It's a battle.
Really hard.
It's always hard.
Keeping
to find
this
the time.
podcast going has been a struggle.
Is it?
honestly.
Do you have like a weekly?
We upload weekly. We missed 1 week.
Sorry, guys.
You got to have discipline. I lack discipline, accountability. I need deadlines.
I know. It's like
Goals.
You're your own boss. Or like, you know, in this, we're our own boss, but we're really cool bosses. You know, we're like, hey, you want to take the day off?
Take the
the
week
day
off.
off.
Take-
Hey, you know,
Yeah,
hey,
we
come
got
on. I'm a
friends
cool
in.
boss.
Take next week off.
Yeah. Like, just go home. But yeah, keeping this going has been kind of a struggle. I think having the sponsorship is part of like, we owe it to somebody. Maybe that's part of why we've been able to do it. This is the most consistent I've been with anything ever.
The more
Same.
legit it gets, more responsibility, the more you're kind of like compelled to do it. I feel like.
Yeah.
Like if you get another sponsorship, then you're like, okay, fuck, no, shit's rolling. I guess we're going with
No
it.
Because
Stop
are
it
you
now.
still doing your podcast?
Yes, but I haven't done it in a bit.
But not consistently.
Yeah, but I really want to. I enjoyed that. Started it during quarantine, and something fun about just doing. I mean, it's like, well, everyone did that. You saw during quarantine, a lot of people were just like Colbert and people at home. You could just see how easy it was to like have a show. You don't need.
But
a
then
studio.
suddenly, like, you're just as entertaining as Stephen Colbert or like Jimmy Fallon trying to like do it from home. Like once all that money is like stripped away, you know, and like all the bells and whistles, like
It's our time to shine.
Yeah.
You know?
And like, so Travis was just doing this. The podcast is just you sitting there talking. I mean, it's cut and stuff, but like, I feel like I couldn't do that. I wouldn't be good at that. So I commend you.
Thanks, man. It's mostly all true stories. And like I like stand up. I don't do it a lot, but whenever I do it, it's usually a similar style, just like true stories. Some people have like, oh, this is a super well crafted joke. The structure of joke. It's like, I'll just talk about when I got caught humping a couch when I was like 15 or something, you know. Embarrassing stories. I'm not going to launch into that.
Who caught you? Well, I've got a follow-up question.
My mother. My mother caught me. I had clothes on. It wasn't like gross.
Humping the couch, like pants on?
Pants are on.
Is your hand
Dogs
on
do
your
it.
dick, or you're just riding this couch? The
I'm
couch is doing the
kind of
work.
like, I was doing the work, but I
Okay, that's true. That's true. The couch is kind of just
see.
laying
I got to take it a step back. We had this thing called illegal cable.
illegal cable. Oh, nice.
We had illegal pay-per-view or like free pay-per-view.
Ooh, some naughty
'Cause
channels.
The Spice Channel. It's like that was a certain era. Do you know what the Spice Channel is?
But I remember when like late night HBO would be like real sex or like those.
It's kind of like
shows.
that, like
The L word or like whatever it was.
It's what the, I guess the younger people now probably won't know the term softcore, but
Yeah, softcore doesn't even.
That's what it was.
Softcore. It's Instagram for kids listening. That's what Instagram is.
Oh, God.
so softcore was playing, and I thought my parents were asleep, and my mom came down to get a Pepsi at 2 a.m. like she usually does, and that's when she saw me.
Sorry.
And it was the most embarrassing moment of my life for a good 10 years, probably. And then my first stand-up show ever, I like used that joke and it killed, which is nice. It didn't kill right now, but it killed then.
Oh shit! We didn't bust up. No,
I didn't tell it right.
You're not doing like a bit. You're
You're right.
telling
This
us
is
the
just
story.
real talk.
This is just real talk, real sex.
Yeah, so
Real couch sex.
We would have to. It was like scrambled porn, so softcore porn. So we'd have to like unscramble it with the password and then re-scramble it.
I don't even know what that means because it's a stolen signal.
Yeah, it's kind of like the old cable boxes where you go be like, oh, cool, I have 70 channels, and then you go to like 71 and 72 and it's scrambled, but you can tell there's stuff there. Yeah, it's like the premium cable that you have to unlock. And he knew some guy at the cable place, and they like gave him like a chip, and then like it was just free pay-per-view. People would come over to watch like the Mike Tyson fight.
Wow.
The famous Mike Tyson Holyfield ear bite.
Yeah.
Illegal cable. We watched
Wow,
that.
that's an iconic.
And you were
moment.
watching it?
Oh yeah, like every normal white trash family just watching it together.
I was at the neighbors. I was at the Fiocchi's in the basement while like the parents were upstairs watching it. But then we heard like, kids, you gotta see this. Like he bit him. He bit him. Like, and we're like, what is going on? They're like, he bit him. We just couldn't believe it. Wait,
That was like me too.
You hear that like little buzzing? Sorry, that's mine.
It's okay.
My fault. We're not super high. We're not Stephen Colbert just yet here.
I'll tell you what, I am impressed with the Shure mics. So these are nice. I
Thanks.
think I need these.
I like them.
Did you buy just 4 at once, like a baller?
I just bought 4 at once. I splurged on
And
it.
you have a recommendation for where? Do you like online or?
I got them on Amazon, I think, or maybe Sweetwater.
You need to have the cool Joe Rogan like arm. Be like, oh, excuse me.
I know that would be the next step.
Oh, it's
if we
attached
had
here.
like a like a
Yeah, just bring it down.
movable-
It's like over
the mic
there.
arms.
Just kind of.
Yeah, they're just coming in.
In this corner.
Yeah, exactly. You could just hang them. That'd be cool. But yeah, there was some startup cost to getting this podcast going.
It sounds good. Like very
thank you.
very crisp.
Thank you. I thought about treating the room, and I was like, Christine, could I put up like stuff and up here, and I sent you like I think I'm gonna buy this stuff, and you're like, no. Like that's gonna look terrible.
We had to leave room for all the other stuff.
That's true. We got
Less
a lot of
is more.
shit everywhere.
Less is more.
Right.
Minimalist, maximalist.
More is
We're
more.
more the maximalist. Again,
more-
we're more like the max to the max.
Yeah, we max out.
Whatever.
But
What about you? What's your design aesthetic? I feel like your shirt is kind of max to the maximalist.
Well, we just came from Glendale. Or wait, no, we are in Glendale.
you're in
We're in
Glendale.
Glendale.
I feel like
still.
this is how someone that was really rich and grew up in Armenia and moved here would dress like this.
So you were
Gotcha.
kind of inspired by
This
the
is
night,
a
huh?
local kind of look. You just wanted to fit in with the locals.
I'm trying to be incognito.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, I'm
It's
sorry.
working.
I'm sorry I mentioned it.
Yeah.
Nah, my good friend Joe. His name's Joe Younglove. That's his real name.
Wow.
His last name's Younglove.
Pretty solid.
Dear friend
Younglove.
gave me. I think he gave me this shirt when I moved here, like as a parting gift.
Wow.
And I never wear it except for like special occasions because it's totally ridiculous.
We
if
are
I'm,
honored to be the special
Yeah.
occasion.
you know, I was
seriously.
nervous. It makes me feel powerful to wear it.
I love
Good.
that.
You're nervous to do it?
I mean, my stash can't compare with your stash.
No.
I
you
was
had the
worried it
stash
was going
before
to
I
come
did.
down to a battle of the mustaches. It was like sizing up this moment, you know.
See, for
But
me,
no,
like
you
being
guys are
a
above
guest
that.
is sort of easier. I get nervous as the host because, like, I just spit a bubble. But like, you know, if there's like a lull in the conversation, it's like I gotta like, oh, we gotta think of something. You know, we gotta.
Yep.
But for you just gotta sit there and answer. You know.
I feel like I'd almost rather be in your position right now.
All right. Well,
Yeah, like
Ask us a question.
is it more vulnerable to be the photographer or the person being photographed? Because you have to. I mean, how you see something is a pretty
it's
vulnerable
true.
act too.
For me, I'd rather be photographed because I'm not a great photographer. I think I'd fuck it up.
What about you? You enjoy being filmed?
I do, but I actually
How do you
studied
feel?
photography, so
Oh yeah. So how do you think they
either.
compare? Like, what's the way? Because you're not trying to be a photographer right now. So what's the feeling you get acting that you maybe don't get in photography?
a lot more anxiety in acting, I think, because I'm like, I feel like it's easier to overthink it because you don't see what's happening. You're like, oh well, do I look mad or oh wait, versus the behind the camera, you're like, oh, this is exactly what's happening. I'm controlling it. I'm manipulating it. Acting. It's like, well, I hope I look good.
Right.
Am I supposed to look this way? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like I'm not in control.
The Lifetime movie, was it just one
And
shooting
that's
day?
challenging.
What was that?
The Lifetime movie, was it one shooting day?
One shooting day.
And so were you super nervous that day, like going into it?
I was very nervous. And yes, I like to be in control, not being in control. I don't know, but then some people that don't drink because they like to be in control. Anyway, the Lifetime thing. I was a janitor with a mop. So here's a quick story. Can I tell you the quick story of it?
Of course. We got time.
So I got the janitor role because they just felt sorry for me. And they're like, oh, he auditioned for the lead. He didn't get the lead. Let's give the kid something. The janitor.
Hey.
And I was very grateful for that. But they're like, okay, it's a mop scene. You're going to be like coming in with a mop and like mopping. And so I basically was really nervous. So I just like practiced mopping for like hours, just waiting, you know. And I was like trying to do a little dance and like be clever with it. I'm like, maybe they'll let me just kind of do whatever. And I can like be funny and make this a moment. And then I finally walk onto set and he's like, lose the mop. He's like, we're going to use a trash can instead. I'm like, all right.
You're like, I didn't rehearse the trash can.
Yep. So I'm
Oh,
pushing the
man.
trash can instead. And I try to do a little dance.
So wait, in that moment, did you have it was like sheer panic, or you're just like or like arms up, like surrendering to just doing your best?
Had to just adapt, improvise, adapt, overcome. Isn't that what they say in the military?
Somebody
It
says it
sounds
somewhere.
like
I don't
a
know.
My
thing
friend's
they
got a
say.
tattoo.
Or
My friend literally has a tattoo that says that.
is he a military guy?
No, but he is inspired by their discipline.
Good. Okay.
But yeah, so I embraced the trash can moment, and it was one of those looks, no lines, but I had a close up, which was cool, and it was like very sort of familiar scene where I'm like people are hiding in this room, and I'm like have my headphones on, and I'm like pushing the trash can, like doing my thing.
Oh yeah.
And they're hiding behind me, and they like just stole some test scores, and I'm like oblivious, and then they close the door, and I think I heard something, so I like take my headphones off, and I'm like, did I hear something? And then the close up happens, and I'm like. And then I just go back to doing my thing.
Nice.
That's it.
Nice.
That's my moment. That was my Hollywood. It's all downhill from here.
No, you're
I
top,
don't
baby.
know
You're going
about
up.
that.
You're
Wait.
going to the top.
So that's it's been a highlight of the year. What a year! It's been a weird year. man.
Weird year.
Weird couple
But you
of
got a
years.
good highlight, bro.
That is a good one to
Lifetime
sneak
movie
in.
scene.
Besides that, I need to bring the Network King back.
Yes.
I almost thought I should have dressed like the Network King. Actually,
So he does this bit where he's the network king, and it's sort of like an informative video on how to like network and how to like advance yourself
Oh, I
in
love that.
business, sort of. But it's like
Please tell me you wear turtlenecks and blazers.
now he wears like a bad suit kind of, and just like
Great.
close, very close, oversized kind of suit,
yeah,
Love it.
greased back like hair,
Yeah, I fucked up not showing you some of this, but I'll show you
I know,
after.
I got. Okay.
and that's where the
Oh my
stash
God, I love
really
it.
started with him because I feel like it started as a joke because I'm like, oh, I definitely look creepy. But then you get a couple compliments, and you're like, okay, maybe I'll do it. But then it's like, I like just kind of fucking with people in general. Like, my old band, it was like funny, but also real music. People would be like, are you guys for real, or is this a joke? And I'm like, whatever you want.
Yeah. That's a good, like, if I didn't know you, or if someone
on the
didn't
night.
know you at all, there would be at least a short moment where there's like, is this real? You know, like sometimes it's pretty quickly you would realize it's not like the woods, you know, the thing in the woods. But with like the networking or different things that you do, there's always it's different lengths, but there's always a short moment where someone might think like, is this real? Like,
yeah, I like riding the line between
yeah,
if it's real or not.
me too.
So much bullshit, and I feel like everyone is so serious all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're either super serious or they're super silly, and it's like kind of the middle, maybe. I don't know. Still trying to find my style, but
Yeah. I think you're on your way.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, dude.
Really
I
do.
mean it. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Is there any shows right now that are like you're just living for? Big TV consumer yourself?
I started watching Dave.
Nice.
That's so great.
Love Dave.
That's pretty good. I like that it's super meta and just like about like what's happening in his life. I mean, it's just like kind of right, like super realistic, but also silly. But that's been good. Oh, we started watching Squid Games.
We
So
started
did
that
we.
recently,
We did episode
along with
3.
every other human on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that was one of those like, what's everyone talking about with this? And you're like, oh, it's real good.
I heard an ad on the radio, like with that whole theme, a giveaway with that, like
Wow.
players,
Wow.
caller, looking for callers.
What's crazy though is like
all others will be terminated.
kids are
whatever the hell.
watching this too. Like, I
so
mean,
tight.
maybe that's not crazy for you because you grew up watching shit like this. When you were, but to me, like, thinking like an 8-year-old just like watching people get murdered that much, that
It's very
violently.
graphic. Yeah, it's
That's
pretty
wholesome
graphic.
family entertainment.
You're like, that's just how families hang out.
That's just
Yeah,
another
I don't know. It's
Saturday
kind of
night.
wild. But okay, how far into it are you?
Episode 6.
Oh, shit,
you're
all
further
right.
than us.
I think that's the one that we cried. I think on that one. That's all I'm gonna say.
I've yet to
Ooh.
cry.
I'm an easy crier.
Oh.
Can we talk about crying? For a
I'm
second?
not
Let's
in real
talk about
life,
crying.
but with film, I'm easily moved to cry.
Bro, I'll
Yeah.
cry
I
watching
cried
The
actually
Voice.
right before you guys got here watching like Grey's Anatomy, which I'm still watching 20 years later.
Is that
But-
good? I never watched that.
No, I mean it is, but it isn't. It's kind of over sexualized.
That's how
doctor
Graceland
show.
was.
It's how then I started the fireman show before it. You know, it's all fire people. I should say firemen and women. What is it?
Whatever.
Yeah,
The men are,
fire- you know, the people. Anyways,
peeps.
it's always like very scandalous. It's more of that, but tonight they were more like pulling at the heartstrings.
But we'll cry. I mean, we cried during Ted Lasso,
The Voice.
I haven't seen that.
The Voice.
The Voice gets him all the time.
If
Just 'cause
someone's
they're a
like up
beautiful
there
singer.
doing their moment,
Yeah,
and then
no,
they like,
no. I'll tell you what it is.
Go ahead.
It's the proud parent moment.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Which I don't know what that says about me. I know my parents love me and they're proud
Do you
of
know
me.
that they're proud of you though?
But like, yeah, whenever it cuts to like the proud parent, like
It gets him.
it just.
Oh my
gets
God!
me.
I just got chills thinking of that scene in Whiplash.
Never saw Whiplash.
Oh my God! Have you seen that?
Oh, I'm sorry to leave
But you know what it's
hanging.
about, right?
Yeah, the drummer, like a jazz drummer.
Insane jazz drummer, and I'm not really spoiling it. His dad, I think, is the dude from Mad About You.
Okay.
So, anyway, he like didn't support him, and then finally
Classic.
at the end sees him like fucking destroy the drums, and there's a shot of him like watching through a window, and he's like totally blown away. You got to see Whiplash.
I guess I
sounds
do.
very
Damien
beautiful.
Chazelle, he did La La Land, and I was actually just my first background acting in his new movie that comes out next Christmas, 1920s period piece Hollywood.
Ooh.
It's called Babylon. And
You're
that-
in it?
Yeah, that was my first background role that I did.
That's cool. Can you talk about the movie at all?
Yeah. 1920s Hollywood. I was like 10 foot from
Love
Brad
that.
Pitt. That was cool.
amazing.
I was right by Spike Jonze. He's in it too.
Ooh.
Sick.
He plays like a German or Austrian director of the movie within the movie. And I was a soldier, one of like 50. There's really like 500 eventually, but like sort of like a medieval soldier. They're shooting a movie within the movie. So it's like
Okay.
1920s cameras. And
Yep.
yeah, we had rubber swords and rehearsed. And
How fun.
that was out in some movie ranch in July, hot as fuck, wearing like super heavy shit.
Wow.
But it was fun. I think I got SAG eligibility maybe, which is cool.
Good. What's Brad
How
Pitt like?
cool.
Do you
Well, I wished I would have talked to him. He had a bunch of tats, which I didn't know he had tats.
Yeah.
He seemed
know
cool. The movie's about like the transition from silent films into talkies, and it's a star-studded cast. I think Tobey Maguire's in it.
Wow.
What's her name? That's Margot Robbie. A lot of people, but
Damn.
1920s Hollywood. I mean, what's
Yeah,
not
so
not
beautiful.
It's gonna be
It's a
cool.
good epic era.
Super cool.
So that'll be cool.
Gangster.
Trying
Congrats,
to stay
fun.
busy.
Yeah, that's like the best time to release movies, right? The summer, I guess, and then Christmas, right? Those are like the 2 times a year they go hard, the studios. At like pushing it.
I don't
Traditionally,
know.
that
Yeah,
shit's
maybe.
changing, right?
Yeah, I
It
guess
probably
you're
is
probably right.
always
Everything's
changing and-
streaming. Now it's like if it's just gonna go to theaters at all or go right to streaming. There's been some people, like women, suing studios for
specifically ScarJo.
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson.
That's right. What was that about?
It was
Her
because
contract,
they
I think,
said
was
they were going
that
to
it had to be
theaters.
a theater release. That was in her contract.
And then they didn't.
And
do
then
it.
like kind of went behind her back and released it also on Disney Plus. And so she sued them.
Because
But
she would have
I
had
bet they were
earnings,
like-
or more earnings from it or whatever.
Right, because she would have earned from if everyone had to go to the theater, she gets back end, but she doesn't get back end on Disney Plus.
Those slippery fucks.
But I think she successfully sued them, which I'm sure they knew that was going to happen too. They're like, we'll put on Disney Plus, she'll sue us, we'll pay her, like we still come out on top. Like I think it was factored in
I wouldn't be surprised.
because anything to get people on these streaming platforms like seems worth it, you know? Like
To
more
prove
people
that
using
people are-
Disney
yeah.
Plus, like once they're on there, they're going to watch that, then they're going to watch Coco and Toy Story 4 and like you got them. You know, they downloaded it. Now they have it. You know, it's like it's probably worth them to I don't know what they had to pay her, but
They have so
and
much
she still
money.
got her money. What does she care, you know? So that sounds like a win-win. But yeah, Disney's got crazy money.
They're supposed to be the worst too. Apparently, I've heard all sorts of stories the last 8 years. I worked for Disney a little bit. They always paid less. People don't like
It's
Disney.
not magical at all.
And they really like cater to the Chinese government agenda a lot, I've heard.
Whoa,
Well, because you know how like
I don't know anything about
the
that.
Chinese market is bigger than the U.S. market at this point, much bigger.
Sure.
Like so, and for a movie to play in China, it has to be favorable to China. So like American movies are getting tweaked so that
That makes
they get Chinese approval.
That's right, because they could bomb in the U.S. and they could kill it in China and still be on top and be
Yeah,
fine.
I think. I mean, what was the Fast and the Furious movie? Like John Cena was promoting it, and he called Taiwan a country, which according to China, Taiwan is not a country. And so then he had to do like a video apology.
Oh my
And he's
God.
speaking fluent Mandarin in the apology, which is
John Cena.
odd. I didn't know he spoke Mandarin, but
Or
he
They taught him for the video.
exactly. They fixed him. They
that
they
feels like it's
brainwashed
not
him.
adding up.
But yeah, he like had to do this big apology for calling Taiwan a country. And he's like, I love China. I love and then yeah, like I don't know what the
That's
number
some
is,
scary
but
shit.
like the movie made like let's just
Intense.
say $600 million. Like 80% of that is the Chinese market, you know? So like he had to do that. Otherwise they would have only made, you know, 100 million or whatever.
It's pretty scary. It's like,
It is scary.
It's like the Seth Rogen in that movie about North Korea back in the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
It actually pissed him off.
This same thing actually happened with Hitler and the Nazis in World War II because the German market was the biggest European market. And so Germany actually had people in Hollywood supervising scripts and trying to get movies shut down that were like, especially if someone's trying to make like a World War I movie where Germany's not like looking good, like those movies were not getting made because if you wanted it to do well in Europe, like it can't happen. And so they would go like, if you make this movie, every actor in this movie, no movie they ever make ever again will ever play in Germany. And nothing your studio ever makes ever again will play in Germany. It was, and like almost everybody except for Warner Brothers, like catered to the Nazis.
Wow.
It's wild, isn't it?
I heard that Walt Disney was like kicking it with Nazis.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's true. Not trying to gossip.
Yeah, I don't know what Walt Disney was doing so much. Like I've heard more. It's like MGM, Paramount, Warner Brothers. I think those were the bigger. I think at the time Disney was still just like kids' cartoons or something. Probably still. I've heard Walt Disney was also anti-Semitic, so I don't know. But they even like a lot of these studio heads who are catering to the Nazis are like ran by Jewish people. but they're still like, and there was something where Hitler made, you had to fire all your Jewish employees in your like Berlin, because Berlin kind of had like a movie industry or whatever. You had to fire all your Jewish employees, and everybody did, except for the Warner Brothers. Pretty sure.
Damn.
It's crazy.
Back in the day.
And now we're seeing it with China, and it's like, I don't know. It's not good. I don't like it, and it's just for money. That's the only reason to go along with it, is so that you get more money.
Did you see Nomadland?
Mm-hmm, that one made me cry a lot.
That's great.
That was
Chinese
really beautiful.
director, female, and then she won the Oscar, and then China censored it. Isn't that insane? Can you imagine your home country just like, she didn't win an Oscar. Just go ahead and take that out.
Yeah.
Because what? They don't want to inspire other people to think that they could do things? Like, well, I'm
That
trying to think
they
of
could just like not live in a capitalist world.
I'm trying to think of China's logic for censoring the Oscar-winning director. I just think that's
I don't know.
Fucking insane.
Yeah. Maybe the person was. I didn't see the movie. Are they like anti-government or like?
It's
a
about
maverick in
a lot
any
of
way?
them. I mean, kind
actually.
of. Partly, there's that sentiment. It's like
Kinda
people
is.
living in
about
vans and on the road, and a lot of those people tend to fall in that category. The main character, the protagonist, is not. She just kind of like a lady down on her luck, like loses her husband and
But embraces it.
only has seasonal work and kind of just chooses to live in a van and move around as work comes, and it's just a really like up close and personal look.
Off the grid.
Yeah,
You
but
must
I
live
mean,
on the grid.
it's about living simply. It's about living, a really humble life, being independent, being like, not consuming. She actually ironically works for Amazon in it. So yeah, there's like some kind of real pushback, I guess, to that stuff, to just like what our society is like.
It's scary shit.
Recommend
And
it, though.
in the beginning, she's like getting rid of her house. She's saying goodbye to her house. Like,
That's right.
yeah,
Man.
they just
Chloe
want our money.
Zhao. The director.
Chloe
That's the
Zhao.
director?
Chloe
What else
Zhao.
has she done? Anything?
I want to see them. Two things. I've had my eye on them, but I haven't watched them yet. One's about the rodeo, and her movies are like fascinating because she uses non-actors. Pretty sure. She like finds, so it's like half documentary, half like the story. So the Nomadland, she had all these real van life people, this real van life like cult leader. That anyway, one's about a rodeo, and then another one's about Indian reservation in Nebraska, and I actually have, in a weird way, have a tie to Chloe Zhao through a professor I had college with who did an Indian reservation book, and then she consulted him because he was already an expert on the reservation she wanted to do a movie about.
Wow.
And I'm friends with his son, and he's like, dude, you're in Hollywood. My dad knows Chloe Zhao. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
So there's like, I have all these like, I was telling her earlier, like, all these connections and different exciting things happen, and I feel like it's just about putting the puzzle together, and I'm like trying to do it, but then also do my own thing. But then it's like, hey, this like connection's just like staying here in the ether. I should probably go, But then I'm like, wait, no, I want to do this, but like, you know what I mean? It's like a struggle.
I know what you mean. I feel like I'm sometimes in a similar sort of feeling, like, oh, like, how can I not? Like, I have so much like at my disposal to sort of like use to like.
The entire world.
Like stepping stones. But I just feel like for you, it sounds like maybe you're like just about to kind of pop. Like once it all kind of clicks, maybe that's a year, maybe that's 2 years, you don't know. But like once it all clicks, like
20 years.
Yeah, maybe it's 40 years, 50 years.
I'm going to be the next Morgan Freeman, dude.
You could be.
I don't think he like got big till like 47.
Sure. Or like Leslie Nielsen or whatever. Remember that guy from Airplane? Or like from Naked
You're right.
Gun?
He was
old. His whole career he was old.
He acted with O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, he did. Rodney Dangerfield too didn't make it till like his 40s.
I mean, we're getting there. We're making more room for older actors, and actresses, Yeah. I mean,
Jack Nicholson too.
Meryl Streep.
I think he was successful when he was younger.
Oh yeah, only old people. Sorry, I forgot what game we
Tom
were playing.
Cruise. No.
Tom Cruise, man.
Definitely
I
not.
wish, man. Oh,
Bieber.
gosh.
You know what I did watch was the Val Kilmer documentary.
Same.
I haven't checked it out. What do you guys
It's
think?
very powerful and
great.
super sad. I didn't know he had a disease.
It's sad. Yeah, he had throat cancer or something, so he has a
that's right. I think you mentioned
tracheotomy, or he had a tracheotomy, so now he has a whatever the thing
Voice
is,
box.
so like that voice box thing. Yeah. So, but he doesn't really talk. Well, he does actually talk a fair amount, but it's narrated by his son, sort of as him, like speaking his words. But I didn't know what artsy guy he is.
I had no idea. He
Yeah.
like went above and beyond.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
I only
sending
know him
peop-
as an actor. I guess I don't know the whole scoop.
He's like an actor's actor, which I didn't really know. I just saw him as
What
like
does
a
that
box
mean?
office guy,
Doing
or like
more of the artsy genre within it.
yeah,
all.
like
He,
he's
like-
not just like a pretty face that like got into acting. Like he was acting his whole life. He loves theater. He loves to like, he just lives for it.
He was just like sending audition tapes to like these huge directors. Like, I found out they were making Apocalypse Now, and so I just made an audition tape, sent it to him, and like didn't get it, and which is insane to hear. Like someone that accomplished, like, oh yeah, he didn't get it.
Right. But his humility throughout his whole career to like always try for shit.
Yeah.
And then he's also a guy that just kind of filmed.
Oh yeah, a
everything.
lot of it was filmed by him, which is cool. It's all home movies. He was like on set in like the '90s, like with. He's like, I was the first one to have a video camera around all my friends and family. Like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, like probably when it was like on his shoulder,
Wow.
Like there's even some footage where someone's like, "What is that? A video camera?" Like Kevin Bacon, I think.
Yeah,
It's
they're
Kevin
like-
Bacon. He's like, "What is that?
Sean
a video
Penn,
camera?"
yeah, young Sean Penn and Kevin Bacon, they're all hanging out.
Yeah.
God,
That's
what
cool.
was it? Tombstone? Have you guys seen Tombstone?
Is that the movie where like it was
Filmed
his,
in
but then
Southern
Sean
Arizona.
Penn and Kevin Bacon took his role or something like that?
No, this one. He was in it, right? Yeah. Doc. It's a really good one with Val Kilmer, Tombstone. Him and Kurt Russell. It's like a western.
Nice.
Highly recommend
Yeah,
I only
filmed
really
in Tucson,
know-
or Tombstone, Arizona. Driven through there. It's a cool little dusty town. And
Dusty
actually,
town.
yeah, there's a lot of filming stuff that happens out there. And actually, just down the street from my house, right outside the liquor store in Tucson, my old house, there was just some filming down there too.
Oh yeah.
It's always
nice.
fun. It's interesting to see these little like pockets of cities and places outside of Hollywood that kind of make a name for themselves.
Yeah. I mean, they film outside of Hollywood a lot. I feel like a lot of filming happens in Louisiana.
I know, but it's cool. You get these little hubs everywhere.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, like, you ever location scout outside of LA, or is it like, how does location scouting work? We're gonna make a movie. We need a house and we need a store or something like that. And
Yeah.
you just kind of
Exactly.
It's all in LA. I'm just an LA guy.
okay.
Yeah, nowadays with the internet and stuff, the first couple days of scouting is just like online, sending emails and shit. Because you have these companies now that have like 15, 20,000 houses in their database. So I can just say,
Wow.
hey, I need a mid-century modern in Tarzana for $5,000 a day that has 3 bedrooms and blah. So they can really help me narrow it down.
Okay, so there's like agencies.
Yeah, there's
So
a
if
few.
you want your house to be like up for to possibly be a film
yeah.
location, you team up with one of these agencies, and then a location
Team up
scout.
with Travis.
Well,
No, I'm
then
kidding.
Travis talks to the
My
agency
friend Kate does it though.
and says, "I need
Yeah, basically, like,
something lodgy, something with a fireplace."
Something logic, exactly.
Yeah, it used to
Coming
be
right
just-
up. Doop, doop.
you know, driving around all day just to like scout a few places, but now you can get a lot done with online stuff. But I mean, they're smart. They made a company to where they're like, oh yeah, you want to shoot at this house that I rep, $1,000, and they're just like sitting on their butt. But it's like, oh, I introduced you to them, $1,000, you know. So they
Classic
just-
middleman.
Yeah, they make fat cuts on that
Classic
stuff.
middleman.
But I've scouted a lot of really cool houses, like amazing mansions in the hills and like
Yeah.
crazy shit, like Big Lebowski houses. Like they shot part of Big Lebowski there, and
Oh shit!
like one of them's
Where
in the
like
Hollywood
such a
the
Hills.
fun
porn
job.
director lives, like
Yeah,
that.
with like the crazy like party room with the.
yeah, it's like
I don't-
Iron Man's house basically.
It's
that
like,
house.
do you find yourself like on Zillow or no? You get to do this in like a real life, just seeing these houses, which is way cooler than my virtual tours, which I do all the time.
Yeah, I'm never really on Zillow.
So yeah, I love playing that game. That's so cool though.
Yeah. Has there ever been like a weird ask, like something that's kind of hard
Oh, yeah,
to
the
find?
rare,
like I need
the
a house
obscure.
with a baseball field in the backyard, or I don't know. shit
Yeah, I
like
had
that.
to look for witch houses.
Ooh,
Which
So I was just looking
houses?
for like really shitty houses. So I was like knocking on doors with like the roof sunk in, and I'm like, they're like
yeah,
so
knock
great.
gently so you don't.
And they're
knock
like,
it down.
wait, you want to give me money? Why? And like,
Yeah.
oh, it's for this commercial.
They're like, oh, should we fix up the house? You're like, no, it's good. It's
Exactly.
good. Just
you
like
want me to
That's
clean up?
great.
No, we love the hole.
we need the hole.
The client and agency love the look of your hole.
The client loves your hole.
knocking on doors.
But it's weird. Commercials are. I'm in commercials, so I'm actually fortunate. All the strikes stuff that's happening, which by the way, I guess they just averted the strike. I don't know if you heard about
So
that.
Oh, I
what
haven't
was
heard
it?
an
Like
update.
everyone was going to strike at the same time?
Not everyone, mostly TV and movie crews that work for like Netflix and Apple and certain networks that are like neglecting crews more than others. I'm in commercials, so it's like not a big studio, just these smaller companies, and so they like treat us better. Some people are like working through lunch. I've never worked through lunch really, but like 16-hour days and all that.
And is that like JC was telling me a little bit about it? Is it that Netflix or whatever they kind of fall into a different category than TV or film? They're like a digital media platform, so they always felt like they don't have to follow these rules so specifically of like when people get lunch and working hours and stuff like that. So they've been trying to kind of like find loopholes or something. And
something like that. I don't know a lot, but I know that they basically were the straw that broke the camel's back, it seems like, because I think the whole thing is an old system. They've been doing 12, 14, 16-hour days for a long-ass time, and just like it's been normalized. And then, yeah, these new media companies came out, and they're trying to do the same thing. And I think people are just now with social media, the Instagram page went from like 10,000 to like 150,000 in like a few months, just like spread like wildfire of all these anonymous stories of people saying, yeah, I piss in a bottle, I never have a restroom break. And I've definitely, could relate to some of their stories, but it's mostly film and TV. I guess commercials, HBO, and some other networks still are in like good standing with their contract or whatever. But
I would imagine some YouTube productions also, because if you get like a YouTuber who's like, let's do like a kind of big budget thing, they're probably fucking everybody with those things, because it's like.
And it's really fucked up how the ripple effect. Like someone said, I was just on a promo for The Rock for like his new movie with Netflix. It's like the biggest Netflix movie ever, and because of his schedule, we had to like just work through lunch. They're like, oh, we're just gonna treat this guy like a fucking king, and whatever he says goes, even though we have like 90 people underneath him that actually make the movie. But let's just only focus on this guy, and it's like, so the below the line people are trying to get a little more
good recognition,
which is good. I think
people that show up day in, day out, work so hard, tirelessly.
I've been reading a lot of these anonymous stories. Fair. One lady's like, I went into labor and had to tell
I saw that
I had to tell my husband that he couldn't go to work. We're about to have a kid, and he's like, should I go to work? And she's like, no.
Oh my god! I saw a different one where somebody she went into labor in a meeting, and he's like, "Can you wait until the meeting's done?" And then she literally had to phone in on a video call in the cab on the way to the hospital.
I think this is going to be an ongoing thing. Like, this is kind of the beginning of it, that this is happening within film. Because if you think about how many people are working from home, and they're like expected to answer an email at 9 p.m. You know, it's like, when are you off? When are you on? You know, it's like so many people have jobs now where
but that's also different than like being on your feet under the lights.
I agree.
Like, but physically not in your place of residence, you know.
I think in the future, though, the workforce is going to have to like
shut it down.
Yeah, maybe shut it down a little more. Be like, look, like because it's just kind of commonplace. It's like, you can't get a job and be like, look, but I don't answer the phone after 7. It's like, but I don't you're fired. Like, you don't get to do that. You have to, you know? But I think everyone will team up eventually. I hope we do. And like, shut that shit down.
Other countries do a better job of that. I think like some European countries, they like don't depend on email the way we do after hours like that. Like France in particular, I think is one of those places. Just like culturally work-wise.
Maybe they're just a piece of shit country though. They don't have good emails. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so I don't know, but okay, well that's good that the strike didn't have to happen because
what kind of led
caved?
To that? But it was just, you said it was just.
I think I just saw something that said it was averted because they got their negotiations heard, and they strike if they aren't going to hear them. But there's never been more TV shows than now, so I wonder
what like the follow up is. Like, what agency is going to check in to make sure they're being compliant with all these new negotiated terms?
These unions, right? I mean, that's got to be.
It's all unions, yeah.
But the unions don't exist for those companies.
No, they do though. Like, I believe there's like a makeup union, there's an actors union, there's a stagehand union. So, but this was unique. At least it felt like to me, because it sounds like all these unions are teaming up on this. It's not just like makeup union is striking or the writers union is striking.
Right. Industry wide.
It was like
it's kind of all of them.
Everybody's striking, or everyone's threatening to strike.
Pretty much. And unfortunately, a lot of people that do a lot of the work, like the producer, the production manager and the coordinator, there's no union for them, unfortunately. So some people do get the the raw end of the deal. There's just,
But those people at least get paid more. They're not on like or do they?
No,
Oh.
they don't.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's a complex
Just
thing.
all doing it for the title, really, at that point.
They're doing it for the love and passion for it,
Yeah.
probably.
I mean,
Because no one
better
brags
way.
about being a production manager. I would hate that job.
but a producer, like,
Producer.
is a big one. I feel like that's like, if you're in the industry, that's like something to strive for. It's like the big one on the mantle, You're
Sure.
like, I
Get
produced
that
my
EP
own
credit.
film. Yeah. It's, I don't know.
So when you scout a
the
location, are you then on location that day? Are you like the liaison between the homeowner and the crew or something
That's
like that?
correct. Yeah, a lot of what I do is basically being the liaison between the city or the homeowner or the business owner or whatever we're dealing with, and I have to get the permits and hire the police and like work with the firemen. It's like, oh, you can't park there, blah blah blah. If I'm working downtown, and it's kind of cool working. A lot of these cops I work with are like retirees, and they have so many stories. And they're making like $90 an hour, and so they just don't even care. They're like, do whatever you want. And then they just like block traffic for us, and we can just like kind of do stuff.
Amazing.
It's pretty cool.
That is cool.
It's not fun. It can be fun. I don't want to get stuck in it.
Right. Okay.
Well,
But it's a
you're
job.
Very
on-
important.
You're
It's a job.
on your way to new things.
Yeah.
Right. And it's nice. I'm very fortunate and grateful for my job. I don't have to work all the time. I like that I'm not like 8 to 5, Monday
Yeah.
through Friday, clocking in and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird not being in control of when you work.
I agree. That's one
Like
of my
you-
biggest problems with it.
Okay, so what do you do?
I've got like 2 part-time jobs right now. I'm teaching art classes, and then I'm working in like a marketing position at a elementary school.
So it's out by project by project sort of thing.
No,
It's
your
actually,
schedule's
like-
more consistent.
No, it's pretty consistent.
Oh,
like
okay.
the one job's 21 hours a week, and I have kind of set it for 3 days a week in the mornings. And then the other one is like classes kind of based on when kids are out of school, like after school
But
programming.
you would hate something that's like kind of randomly scheduled, not knowing your schedule next week.
No, I just resent the fact that like, especially, I don't know, I just hate being required to be there like so regularly. Like if I'm barely working for you, 20 hours a week, or sometimes they schedule me as little as like 7 hours a week or something. It feels very awful to be like told I can't go, home for a trip because I have to be there on a Saturday or something. Like I'm just like I resent.
I agree.
I
yeah.
resent like I'll pick up the shifts kind of when I can, and you should just hire more employees. And if I lose shifts because I'm unable to claim them that week, then so be it. But
I agree.
Get more people working, and we'll fight for the shifts when we want them. You know,
Fuck yeah.
just
So fuck
I don't
'em.
know. Who has to work? Have you ever seen those memes that are like? It'll be like, "What's your dream job?" And they're just like, "I'm not dreaming of labor. I'm not dreaming of that. I
Right.
just
Dream job is
I'm
no
dreaming
job.
of leisure."
I mean, I
a
like
little
doing shit, but I want
relaxing.
my dream job would be like getting paid to just put music out. Like that's the dream.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a job.
Right. Then it doesn't feel like a job, but it's like it's income and it's something you got to keep. Or if this became like something that brought in income,
That'd be cool.
there probably would be
So-
times where it felt like a job, but
Is the acting the thing that feels like the least of the jobs to you? If as you're working through roles, what feels?
I mean, unfortunately, it feels like whatever brings in the most money is most likely the job, which sucks. My dad finally started taking an interest in my acting. It took 8 years. He's finally like,
Proud dad moment.
Oh,
you're getting that whiplash moment, dude.
Yeah.
he's like, how much does it pay? I'm like, not much. He's like, oh, that's cool.
You're like, just skip that question and we'll keep talking about it.
Made $200, Dad. But
There are
Get paid in
some
life
things
experience.
worth more than money, I think doing what you
Most
love
things,
is a good
yeah.
thing,
100%.
It-
And like the
it
money
adds
will
up.
come, Like if you're
That's what
doing
they
what
say.
you love and you just keep at it,
that's what
like
they say. The money will come.
comes. Yeah. Or it doesn't, and then we'll just
And it just
die sad and alone.
live in Skid Row.
Yeah. I mean, they're having fun down there, I think.
Move to France.
Fun.
I think they love it. Yeah.
Well, we won't go. Let's not go
So,
that hole.
were you wanted to be a writer at a time?
Yeah.
Is there like a script you kind of like have been? I've been writing a movie script for like 15 years. I'm that guy.
That's great. No, there's a lot of
Do
them
you have
here.
anything like that, or is
I
something-
do. It's with a friend. We wrote it together. And it's I'm trying to think of how much I can give away.
Yeah, I don't want you to.
But it started as a short film that we've been doing for like 2 years because we knew this guy that needed a short film, and then we were really struggling with the short film because it's like 8-10 pages. I'm like, how do I tell this story in 10 pages? It's really hard. So now we're doing the movie version.
Cool.
And I'm like 30 pages in, but I'm really excited.
Cool.
And Suzanne's helped a lot with like the story structure, like 1 act, 2 act, 3 acts, that whole shit, which always like kind of scared me a little bit. Like, but I usually do like short form stuff. I want to do more movie real stuff.
Is there a genre that excites you?
We just watched. I like Charlie Kaufman a lot. Do you know his stuff?
Like adaptation?
Yeah.
That's Charlie Kaufman. What else did he do?
Being John Malkovich.
Okay. God, I love that movie.
Yeah.
That movie's phenomenal.
And then we finally watched Cinedoce New York, which is Philip Seymour Hoffman. One of the less known ones, but really great. I don't know. I like real stuff, real movies where I can imagine myself there. Like, so the opposite of Avengers, so the opposite of Marvel, all that. You can know. I'm not hating. You guys can like that stuff, but like Marriage Stories. You guys see that?
I did not.
It's just like two people in a kitchen. That's it, and it's like so,
Slice of life. You like a slice of life?
Yeah, it's like so real, and the acting so real. It's like Scarlett and Adam Driver.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and it like brings me to tears versus like, what's his superpower? Like, I don't know. I mean, I can get into I like a little fantasy, like Black Mirror is one of my favorite shows.
Okay.
But I like to feel like I could be there, and then it's just slightly more. I don't know where I was going with that.
I feel you though. Like for me, those movies, the Marvel movies, it's like there's a suspension of disbelief, obviously, that there's these superheroes. But then it still feels kind of grounded, like in reality, but there's superheroes. Whereas some movies are not grounded in anything. Notably, I hate the movie Ratatouille. Have you ever seen Ratatouille?
No.
It always comes back to Ratatouille.
I won't spend too much time on Ratatouille. But here's the plot of Ratatouille. A rat wishes he could cook, and then he climbs on a chef's head, starts pulling the chef's hair, and the chef is like, whoa, what? Like, I'm cooking. What's happening? And he's like controlling like a puppet just by pulling his hair. And like, I don't mind that the rat is talking. I don't mind that he's singing. I don't mind that he wants to be a chef. But you're telling me in this world, pulling someone's hair, you can control them like a puppet? Like, if someone combs their hair, do they just flip over? Like, like if I give you a nookie, like, what happens? It's like, it drives me insane.
I don't buy it. Disney. Was it Disney?
It is Disney. Those Chinese shills. I don't know. But yeah, like, when a movie's not...
Should I see it? Should I not watch Ratatouille?
No, you should, only if you want to kind of hate watch it.
And isn't that like a dish?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
The rat wants to make a perfect ratatouille.
What is it? Can we talk about Ratatouille? What is that?
Ratatouille, it's like a jambalaya, kind of.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a paella.
Yeah.
I love Cajun food.
Yeah. The ratatouille,
But
the
it's
food,
French.
I got no problem with.
I think I'm
Like
trying
mussels. I forget what all's in it.
Yeah, it's like a paella, I guess.
Yeah.
Huh? Like a seafood thing.
Do you like? I try not to overthink things. With my podcast for a while, I was like, I need a theme. It's got to have a theme. And then I was like, wait, I don't need a theme. Talk about whatever the fuck I want. Like, do you guys talk about that?
No.
Okay.
Well, no, we don't.
We
Okay, good.
intentionally, on purpose, agreed a long time ago that there was going to be no such theme.
Yeah,
think
that's
that's
why
The theme
we
is...
landed on the name Elk Lodge. We were looking for a name that sort of meant nothing
Nondescript.
contextually what the show would be. Like, we didn't want to be like the music chat.
didn't want to box
or,
ourselves in.
the goofy time or whatever. Like, we just wanted to be, we sit down and we talk with our friends,
Mm-hmm.
So we just wanted a name that was like,
Yeah.
could mean
No
could be anything.
connotations, really.
So that's why it's like it's just a place, But yeah, it's very open ended.
We create the place, the space, and then
It's a
the
place.
rest
It's a
is-
space.
Yeah.
You got a lot of wood out there. I noticed a lot of wood.
I just ordered a pallet of firewood.
That's gangster, dude.
Thank you. That's a wood burning fireplace, and I'm obsessed
This
with
is
it.
about the time of year where he has soot on him
She
constantly.
called me Soot Boy
Soot
because
boy.
there's always like a little soot somewhere.
Somewhere
Disney.
smeared on.
I could see as a chimney sweeper.
Dude,
Honest to God,
I
you
love
need
me
to be
fires,
cast
I
for
love
this
it,
role.
sweep it up. Yeah.
Keep him in mind for that role, okay? When you're
Like in the
casting
50s or something?
down the road.
I'm bummed out that it's like a little warm tonight.
Yeah.
I was hoping it'd be cold.
I'm ready
I can-
for winter,
I can make a
dude.
fire.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all? Yeah, I know. It's so funny here. We just still see people like layering up. So me too, like layering up. Where I wore wool pants this week. I mean, all warm clothes, and it's still like it was like 90 in the valley when I
Where
came
did
back
you grow
tonight.
up?
Nebraska.
Where do they get harsh winters there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like we're from Chicago.
Oh.
And I remember being a kid, like I'd wake up, like coming out of winter. Spring is, around the corner. And I'd wake up, I'd look at the thermometer outside my room. And if it was like 49, that was like, okay, I can wear shorts again. 49 degrees.
I remember like 50, early 50s. I'm like, cool, shorts.
Yeah, shorts are back. Great.
Shorts
Nowadays,
are so cool.
it's like, whoa, it's 70 degrees. Like, where's my sweater? Where's my beanie?
You haven't even gotten your beanies out. Do you know how late into the season
I wore
it
a
is?
beanie. I
haven't seen you in a beanie all season. I've
wore
been
one
worried,
beanie.
actually. I meant to bring it up.
Paul, let's just be real. You look really good in a beanie. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for saying
Can't
that.
compete with that. You used to have that long hair, dude. What?
I know. So did you. You had longer hair, too.
I did.
What prompted your cut?
I had
You
to
guys are
grow
doing the
up,
same.
Paul.
We all
Yeah,
gotta
for me,
face
it
the
was, I
music.
was just sick of it. I was ready to cut it.
No, I actually did it partially for that and partially for acting because I was just getting, okay, you'd be a great Jesus. I think you'd be great. Oh, you'd be a great homeless person. You'd be a great surfer. And I'm like, I'm more than that. I wanted to cast a wider net. And yeah, after
Now you got
4
janitor.
years.
You can't be a janitor.
Yeah,
looking
now
like
I
that.
got janitor and dead dad.
I wanted to do more like janitor and dead dad roles.
And I could play a police officer.
All right,
Yeah.
let's talk about like your dream part. If you could manifest your dream part, what would that look like?
And
I
who's
mean,
your co-star?
obviously very emotionally heavy. Emotions are out.
Or are we talking
Connecting to
comedies?
the role.
I think ideally it would be a dramedy, even though I hate that term dramedy. I like a good dose of drama and comedy. Like Judd Apatow, I think, says like a comedy should basically be a drama with jokes. Like you like Alexander Payne films at all?
I don't know.
He did like Nebraska and Election. Sideways was a big one.
Love Sideways.
I did not like Sideways, but I watched that super young. I think I maybe need to
Yeah, especially if
revisit.
you appreciate wine now. Oh yeah.
I do like some wine. from
Wine and
time
Paul
to time.
Giamatti? Come on. Can't go wrong.
Yeah,
But I
sounds
don't know.
fun.
I'm trying to
Try again.
figure out my niche, but I'd like to play a bad guy. I think it'd be fun to play a villain.
Oh. Like a Bond
Do you have a
villain?
sinister laugh?
Or a German accent or something?
I mean, I just have my normal laugh. You guys want to hear it?
Yeah.
Sure.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that might work. Yeah.
I actually worked in a
I think you're a natural.
Yeah.
I worked at a
Born
haunted
for
house
it.
once. So my first police encounter was 14 years old. Egging cars
Nice.
in houses. We egged one guy's house. He was like sitting on his porch, chased us down.
I mean, what else do you do in Nebraska? You gotta egg houses. It's quiet over there.
You ever egg a house? I never egged a house.
No, I think I recall teepeeing a house.
I never TP'd. I wanted to try TPing. I never tried
I
it.
feel like it was like a soccer.
What's the bigger bitch to
thing.
clean up? Like,
TP.
Depends if it rains.
Exactly.
If it rains,
you're
the TP's bad news.
then you can't get it down.
It just sticks to in clumps.
And then it dries. It's like a mache. Paper mache.
Exactly. But the egg, that's a good.
I don't know why I brought that up, but I remember buying like 4 or 5 dozen
Disgusting.
eggs at like midnight. And we were like 16. And we're like looking at the cashier. We were like, all right. She didn't say shit. I'm like, all right.
It's just eggs.
What does she care?
But
she
it's
gets
funny how
paid the
suspect
same
it is.
horrible
A group
minimum
of
wage,
boys
no matter
buy-
what.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she's like, I don't give a fuck.
Why did I bring up the police? What did you ask me?
Ah.
The role.
Dream
role.
roll. Dream roll.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what that has to do with me getting caught with the police.
Well, the serious part, you
Running
were
with
talking
the
about
police,
bad guy.
serious
You wanted to
role,
be a bad guy.
dramedy,
Sinister
villain,
laughs.
laugh.
Whoa.
See, I've been trying to think of other actors that I admire the roles they play. Who did we come up with? Bradley Cooper. I like what some stuff he
Yeah,
does.
he's done
Love a
some
Bradley
good,
Cooper.
Good old
I
stuff. Silver
mean,
Linings Playbook was like
I'd love-
amazing, I thought.
My dream role would probably be Christian Bale in American Psycho.
Oh, like just
a little awkward.
freaky
I mean,
role.
doesn't
I
have
think
to be
about that.
freaky.
I still think about that in the shower, like just often, all the time. I will never unsee.
I don't think I saw that movie. And then
Is that a raincoat you're wearing? Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh.
You got to see it.
Yeah.
I think I started it, but didn't finish it.
You wouldn't. I mean, you're not a scary guy.
I'm not a scary movie guy, but I like intense. I think I would enjoy it.
I mean, most of that movie is
like
bad.
I don't
It's not
like you know
jumpy
Chucky or you
Yeah,
know,
it's
like,
psychological.
It's not like
but
that.
I like Misery. Whoa, you ever see Misery?
Oh yeah, that's Stephen King.
Yeah,
Kathy Bates.
yeah,
With the fucking sledgehammer.
exactly.
And yeah.
I didn't see that.
Oh man, that's
Because it's like a psychological. It's intense. Like the whole time. Like I have to remind myself to like relax my muscles during the middle of some of this.
That's
my
when you-
heart
that's when you
races
know
the
it's
whole
good.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that happens with Squid Game too. We were watching last night, and I realized like my legs were like I had to like
Yeah, I had bad
consciously
dreams.
relax them.
I know.
I'll
It's
do that
intense.
sleeping sometimes. I'll be like clenching my fists and I'm like dreaming. I'm like, oh, relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
Yeah, I clench my jaw
Yeah,
too. I
teeth
grind my
grinders
teeth
over here.
when I'm stressed. It's actually
Same.
a problem.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say when you're sleeping.
Well, when I'm
that-
stressed, and then
and
if I'm
sleeping.
stressed out while sleeping,
You got a mouth guard?
no,
I do.
I've heard of people with
I
the
just
mouth
grind them
guards.
down.
I just
I
put a
need
sock
one.
in there.
It's fine.
That's funny. Oh, but you were talking about a haunted house. You worked at a haunted house?
Oh, yeah, the
so
haunted house,
with
the
the
sinister
weird
laugh.
laugh. That's
The
where it was. We
sinister
finally
laugh.
got back.
We found it.
So yeah, I got
rolls
caught by
you
the police,
like-
and they're like, "You need to do community service." And I'm like, "Cool, I'm gonna do it at a haunted house," which was amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
That's too fun.
Yeah,
they
some-
did a bad job
Exactly.
like betting that.
I didn't learn anything.
Betting.
The-
Proceed.
they blew it.
So I was a clown in a Jack in the Box thing, and I was like popping out of it and doing that weird laugh.
Uh-huh.
That's
And then
amazing.
and then
Over and over again.
Yeah, and then at one point I switched to some other clown, and then he was in there, and then he started just like cursing people out and like making fun of people, and then they came and reprimanded me because he was in my.
classic.
And they're like,
wrong
"No, it's the other
clown
guy."
It was the other clown.
I love that.
You're like, oh yeah, the other clown did it?
Yeah.
Is that a classic? You're
Sure,
gonna be-
buddy.
you're gonna be the
Around. I've
old
heard
other
about
clown.
enough of you from you.
I would want to be this guy, like, welcome.
Yeah, that's a good.
That's
That's,
probably
the
my
role
role.
I'd like too. That's fun.
I will tell you my favorite part of that experience in the haunted house. I wore like coveralls, and then they had stuffed animals sewed onto them, and then I sat in a chair and they piled more stuffed animals on top, so I was totally invisible with a mask on, and then people were just walking by and they were like, "What is that?" And then I would just like pop out, and I knocked a couple people on their ass.
Wow.
They like fell back. It felt powerful.
That's
Maybe that's
good.
where the acting started. I was like, "Oh, I want to."
Look at that reaction I just got.
power I have.
I want to cause stress in people's lives.
Yeah, I want to do
Pandemonium.
some American Psycho
Yeah, the
shit.
bad guy. I feel like a bad guy, like a Batman kind of role.
Only
would be good.
ideally it would be
Like
like,
a vigilante.
But because that's to me is so different than like the Marvel and Avengers, like those kind of like the Christian Bale, like those moments were actually
They
had
felt
deep
more grounded.
like opportunities to connect. I feel like where the Avengers and stuff, the Marvel things, I think strategically like keep it pretty superficial,
Lofty and-
yeah, pretty lofty. It just is like it's
It's
really,
cheeky.
yeah, it's just kind of like on the up and up. You never really dive too far deep,
It's true.
I like
even when they're like. Even in the emotional moments, it's not the same.
Yeah, you're right. It's all kind of
like the
cheeky.
old school
I
stuff.
think that's why people like it, though. It's like safe. You know, nothing in the Avengers is going to really upset you.
that's
much.
the number one
Yeah.
keyword. It's a safe movie.
It's a safe movie.
There's already existing,
Yeah, it seems like
Audience.
that's the opposite of
Yeah.
what you're interested in.
pretty much.
You're Danger. What's your middle name? Is it Danger or Daredevil? Let's clear this up once and
It's
for
Travis Danger Daredevil John Beck.
all. Ah, very nice. Very
He's got
nice.
them both. He's got a lot of middle names, this guy.
Chicago, huh? That's a good city.
Yeah,
It is good. We grew up in the suburbs, but it is a good city. I love Chicago.
it's a pretty place. Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
it's
cool,
beautiful,
pretty cool.
wonderful.
You guys know snow then.
Oh, we sure do. Snow days.
Bah, I do miss a good snow day.
Love
I
a
love
snow
the
day.
sound of like my dad shoveling the driveway, and I know it's too dark and snowy to really
Like,
have
there's
to
just no
drive
way
to
we're
school.
going to
It
school.
can possibly be happening
I
today.
feel like these days they've done a better, like, they're better at salting and plowing, predicting the weather. Like, I bet snow days are rarer now
it happens.
because they can
It
kinda,
happened my last school gig, and it was awesome in
Oh,
Indy.
yeah?
Yeah,
Oh, good.
Oh,
it was nice.
Good.
Live for a snow day.
I hope the kids out there getting snow days.
I wonder,
huge.
are there any other equivalents like hurricane days? Probably.
well, let's
Sure.
ask the LA native here.
Earthquake days.
Riot days?
No.
Did you
guys
ever?
get?
Yeah. Does anyone in Los Angeles?
You get a riot day off?
Fire days.
What about
of
earthquake?
course.
Earthquake day?
Earthquake
No,
day.
no, but those fires will cancel school.
Yeah.
We get fires all the time.
Fires
here.
and fires and riots. Sometimes the riots cause fires.
Yeah, actually, at the elementary school, I was listening to some of them talk about a few years ago when they were like tracking the fires because they were so close to the campus.
That's
You know?
Pasadena area.
Yeah, in Pasadena, it's nuts.
Damn.
It's you wouldn't think of it until you have to all the time.
But
How often do you guys go back?
a couple times a year. Like I'm pretty religiously see my family around Christmas, and then I go in the summer for like
Nice.
2 weeks. I go in July.
That's
Sometimes
good.
longer if I can pull it off.
That's good. I did once a year for a while, and it's like not enough. I've realized it's like
Yeah.
kind of painful
Yeah, it is.
for the
I've
mama.
done I moved pretty far. Like I moved to Arizona from there, and so then I kind of was down to that like once a year usually for the holidays. But I've gotten better, I think recently, and now I have like nephew and some nieces on the way. It's really easy to remember to go home. You know,
That's
they're
good.
so cute. But yeah, I don't know. Actually, my family kind of moved away out of the city, so it's nice to have his family back there because now I'm not just seeing friends, you know, go back for family too. That's cool.
Where in
Yeah.
Nebraska are you from?
Lincoln, the capital.
Lincoln. I only had one
I've been to
friend
Omaha,
from there.
and I think I had the best pho ever.
Really?
In Omaha, Nebraska.
Wow. Yeah, I lived there for a few years as well.
I was surprised. It's a cool place. I had a cool night.
Did you
It's
play
up and coming.
football? I feel like football is life down there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Football is life.
I used to be a jock for about the first 10 years, 15 years of my life. Played a lot of sports.
Same. For me, it was like 9. I was like fast. I was like one of the faster kids in school when we ran the mile.
You're fast for a kid.
Well, sure.
Are you
fast.
still fast?
No.
No.
I can't even go
Busted me.
upstairs right now. I have like my knee is fucked up. It's like, but my my athletic career ended probably around 9 or 10, I'd say.
Mine ended at 15.
That's good.
Started smoking pot at 15.
Nice.
Got my first guitar at 15.
Oh yeah.
Then did drama at 16. And then now I'm here. So
What a
Game
journey.
changer.
a lot of mistakes.
What a journey.
What was your first time smoking pot like? It's always an interesting.
We didn't even break up the weed. We didn't know you had to. We just put like a chunk in like this paper, and it was like crumpled up, and we just like lit it on fire.
Everybody crowd around. I'm gonna light it. I'm getting some.
And then the
You smell that?
pop can.
Oh God, yeah,
Nice.
like
Pop
we're
can
all gonna
steamroller?
get
Pop can
Alzheimer's.
steamroller. So they say pop in Nebraska.
Oh yeah.
In Chicago, we say pop too.
Yeah, pop.
Yeah, pop.
I wouldn't. I
Pop.
didn't realize it went all the way down to Nebraska. That's cool.
That's
That
a
is neat.
or
That's
over to Nebraska.
it's a small bubble though, right?
We
That's
really
It's
shouldn't
like a
talk about it.
Midwest
It's too
pop
divisive. It's too controversial.
We grew up drinking
this
pop, all
or
right?
soda. This debate.
And now it's all about LaCroix and sparkling water now.
right.
I'm
and White Claws.
I'm
The
in
kids are
that.
drinking White Claws.
I'm a part of that. Not the White Claws. I've boycotted that, but
I
Those
do like
can
the
sneak
bubbled
up on
water.
you.
But dude, all the soda we drank as kids is insane. Like I would not let my children drink that much.
I was
pop.
raised on Mountain Dew, and
Yeah. Mountain Dew.
how
and
else are you going to
Orange
stay
Crush.
up late for the pay-per-view? You know, you
Oh,
gotta
God.
just.
Yeah, the Tyson fight is tonight.
You gotta. It's tonight. It's going down. You gotta stay up. Do
I
the
have
do.
I have a confession, and I was thinking of it earlier, but then I remembered it when you said your full name just now. We shot the intro for this episode like a few days ago because we were just shooting one, so we were just like I know Travis is coming, so let's knock that one out. And I said Travis Becker, not Beck.
so at least you didn't say Trevor.
I didn't say Trevor. And I like right before we filmed it, I checked like your Instagram. I was like, I think it's Becker, right? And then your Instagram is what, like Travie Becky or something?
Travie Beck, yeah.
Travie Beck. So I'm like, oh, Travie Beck. Okay, Travie is short for Travis Beck. Becker. Like, I think I nailed it. And then I realized I fucked it up. So
Just use it anyway, dude. It's fine.
I'm going to use it.
Did you want an alter ego? Because we could start that for you.
So Travis Becker.
See, my alter ego is my email, Travis, Nebraska.
Travis, Nebraska.
Kind of has a ring to it, right?
Is
Yeah.
good. I remember you gave me that email because I was emailing you about when we did the show. Mm-hmm. And I remember thinking like, wow. Like, I was like, is that your real name? Yeah, no.
Some people ask me that, like, your last name's Nebraska? I'm like, no. That'd be cool, though.
It could be. You could
Could
change
be a
it.
stage name.
A stage
There
name.
you go.
Would you stick with Travis Beck?
Whichever the person tells me will make more money, that's what I'll use.
There you go.
No, whichever one sounds cooler, whichever one will give me more respect.
What if they
You ever
said
play those
TT
games? It's like
Nebraska?
you pick your porn name by like the first pet you had, and then the street you lived on growing up, or something.
Mm-hmm. Mine would be Tony Stratford.
Mine would be Buck D.
Wow.
I don't know why I felt compelled to like look for that, but there it is, Buck D.
Wait,
That's
D
good.
is the street? D Street. Just the letter D.
Yeah.
I guess it makes
Boss.
sense.
And then there's a golden retriever named Buck.
Buck D. Buck D lays it down. You gotta watch out for Buck D.
The Buck D is a definite porn
Mine
name.
is like very specific too. I mean, I have a couple street names, but I think this is the one I always thought was the funniest. Lady Congressional.
Wow.
It's like
lady
so
sounds like
superior.
congressional.
It's like very.
It's like
fancy.
she comes in all proper, but then she gets.
I think that's definitely a stripper name for sure.
Oh, Lady Congressional.
Coming to the
out.
stage, Lady Congressional. You have like a Statue of Liberty hat with nothing else on.
Basically, yeah. That's
And you're
always
like,
my favorite.
you're like, these nipples love freedom. And you're just, anyway,
Oh man,
They
yeah.
gotta be free. Liberty.
they got to be
It's
free.
certainly-
Liberty, free the nipple. You support free the nipple?
Yeah, I do feel bad that I can just walk around with my nips out and like no one even bats an eye. But if a girl did it, she'd be arrested.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
So we
And,
call
like-
it double standard.
It absolutely. And who's opposed to it? Well, like I know you don't want to walk around topless, but would you be mad if women walked around topless?
No.
And, like,
I don't think so. No.
Who would?
Suzanne, would you?
Would I walk around topless?
Or-
No, but do you think women should be allowed to walk around topless?
Do whatever you want. Just
Yeah,
don't touch
I'm
me.
kind of more like in
That's a
the.
great rule. Do whatever you want, just don't touch me.
Yeah,
That's almost
I
any
like that
policy.
too.
I think
yeah.
can be summed up to that.
You do you, and over there, I'll take my space over here.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, this was awesome, dude.
Free the nipples, burn the bras. What a
Free
way to
the
know,
nipple,
a
burn
way
the
to
bra.
end. You know.
Travis, Nebraska, in the house.
Have you seen these bras people put on tree trunks?
Oh, like the crochet
Yeah, they like make.
Yeah.
I guess that's a thing.
sweaters
Huh.
and stuff.
It's like decorate trees with bra.
And is that like a protest
a-
of bras themselves? It's like, this is all these are good for? Or is it just
I
art?
think it's more like a celebration of public art and
Recycled art.
recycled art and the magic
yeah.
of trees.
And it is right by a hippie house. These guys literally, he met his wife at Burning Man, so who knows? You know,
Nice.
might be like some weird.
They're like, we met under a tree covered in bras. And so we wanted to bring that vibe back with us. I never been to Burning Man. Have you?
No, I'd like to go at some point.
I'd like to go too.
I want to
Actually,
probably travel to like 20 countries first, though, because
Oh.
you know,
Have you
Got
been
a
out of the
big
country
bucket
much?
list.
only once to Kazakhstan
For real?
for real.
What'd you do in Kazakhstan?
Nobody ever. No, he's a location scout. No.
It
we
was
should make a movie about you being a location scout in Kazakhstan.
Yeah, you're
It'll be like
"Hey,
reverse
can we
of
use your
Borat.
house?
that's Borat. No,
But reverse,
The opposite.
Reverse.
that was just I went
not.
for free because my journalism college paid for it. They had a bunch of international trips, and I was like a photography student, and they paid for everything. And we were supposed. It was right before the Arab Spring, 2010.
Mm-hmm.
We were supposed to go to Kyrgyzstan, which is just some random country in Central Asia, and then they overthrew their government. And like the front page of the New York Times was like a bloodied, battered police force, and it's like, oh, and then we're like, not going to Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah.
So I just went to Kazakhstan, which is like totally different and like 10 times bigger. Yeah, it's a lot. It's right by China and Russia. A lot of Asian-looking people that speak Russian. It was very fascinating.
Wow.
And I tried horse. I ate horse.
How was it?
It
Firm,
tasted
I
like
would imagine.
mediocre beef. It
Okay.
was
So
not
texture-wise.
fine enough.
Okay. How long were you there?
3 weeks.
Wow.
It was
Pretty
it
cool.
was more like working, less hanging out and traveling, and more like doing journalist stories and stuff. But it was cool. It was. I need to travel more, guys.
Same.
Same.
That's on my list too.
But I complained. I have an Australian friend, and she's like, "Yeah, you haven't traveled to 30 countries like me, but America's amazing. You guys have so much shit. Like
true.
you guys have 20, 30 countries worth of shit in one country.
It's true.
She's like, I'm from fucking the middle of nowhere bush of Australia. I have to come 3,000 miles to see Yosemite. It's like in our backyard, you know.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah,
lucky.
and like America could be 50 countries, like
Totally.
Europe, Europe
Well,
size.
California more
countries.
than anything. We're like such
Yeah,
a beast
but
over
like
here.
the difference from LA to Nebraska to Chicago to New York, there's different dialects, different cultures. I mean,
You're right, that's 50 countries
Many,
there.
it's
Mm-hmm.
50.
So that makes me feel less bad that I haven't
but
been traveling.
it's always better to get out too. I don't know. Anytime I've left the country, I enjoyed it.
It's a humbling thing to like see such a different
it's a good
way
perspective.
of life than what you're used to.
Kazakhstan, though, that's I think
So
you're,
random.
Yeah, you're.
Yeah, it is
a rare,
it is
I've never
pretty
met anyone
random, you
who's
know?
Been to Kazakhstan.
It's always like the big hitters. It's like, I went to Italy and
Right.
France and Spain. I feel like that's the trifecta.
Yeah.
You get a
Mexico,
lot of that.
Canada.
Mexico, yeah, sure.
Sure.
Well, sure. But
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, it's so random.
Kazakhstan.
You would have never guessed it ever.
No, if you gave me 100 guesses, I would not have guessed.
I could.
Kazakhstan.
That could be my new. I could be Travis Kazakhstan.
Ooh, Travis.
Doesn't roll off the tongue
Travic-
quite as easy.
Ooh.
Travikstan.
Travikstan, though. There's something in that.
That'll be my rap name.
Travikstan
I
in the
think so.
house.
By the way, I don't know if you've ever heard my rap, but I used to rap. You know,
I've never heard you rap.
we'll have to talk about that sometime.
Next time when we have you on, we'll get into your rap.
I'm gonna listen to your album, man. I'm excited to hear it.
Or after
I'm excited
I
for
was-
you to hear it.
Yeah.
And I appreciate
I know
you
I've got to
bringing me on.
watch.
Thank
I'm
you. Thank you
excited
for
to
coming,
watch.
dude.
I want to see these roles. Babylon, I'm going to be looking out for that next,
Oh,
Next
yeah.
Christmas.
Christmas.
Next Christmas. And the Lifetime movie, we'll just keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
It's called Student Seduction.
Maybe.
I am there. This is awesome. Janitor doesn't see anything. This is going to be great.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm like
Janitor's
flashing back to
I
my,
don't remember
like-
this, but I'll mop it up. I
Yeah.
don't know what that is.
Way to go.
It's come.
Yeah.
It's come.
Thanks.
Anyway,
No, this is great. I'm excited for your new house and your new show, and
thank you.
I got to get a setup like this for my podcast, man.
Fuck yeah. I mean, you got a good thing going, though. I like what you
Yeah,
got
I'm
going.
gonna bring it back, and then I'll have you guys on.
That'd be awesome.
We would love that, honestly.
Then you
Yeah.
can put us in the hot seat.
Yeah.
I would
Or
actually
you'd
love
be in the
to.
hot seat. Who knows?
I'd love to make you guys feel uncomfortable on camera.
Good. Let's do it.
We're
Return
here
the
for
favor.
It. We're here for it.
All right.
Thanks,
Travis,
man.
Beck, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
My
Appreciate
hands
you.
are sweaty, but thank you.
Thank you. That was
Hell
awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, that was great.